What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Realistic Career Mode. It's episode number 100, and yes, we have hit treble digits in this save, and today I've got a special thank you episode for you for all the support on this series so far, as we begin a brand new season with Barcelona at the new camp after winning the domestic double last season, as season 8 begins in the save. And I want to say thank you so much for all the support on this series. It's been one of my favourites to run in ages. I've had so much fun with the project, and we're not stopping yet as we go into our 8th season. So what's in store today? Well, we've got a new season. It's almost half an hour long, so almost a 30-minute episode. It's like 3 episodes rolled into one, and we play through the entire transfer window in today's episode. And spoilers, it's massive. So yeah, really hope you guys enjoy it. It took a while to make, so if you can leave a like, I really do appreciate it. But yeah, thank you for all supporting the save so far, and I really hope you enjoy this special transfer field episode 100. So as the new season begins, as you can see, the board are giving us £273 million to play with. Now, with wage budget or ratio, we're probably looking at around 280 to 285 million. Basically, it's a lot of cash. But as we know, just like last season, the board's objectives are unchanged. They want us to win the treble. Well, last year we brought domestic success to the new camp, winning the domestic double in the Copa del Rey and La Liga. Finished in the semi-finals in the Champions League, losing to Hertha Berlin, who of course are runners-up, losing to our former team Arsenal. That was a bittersweet moment seeing that, as the Gunners were crowned Champions League winners. And yeah, this season, there's no doubt about it, we are definitely going for the treble once again. This team is more than good enough to win the treble. Kind of bottled it against the Germans last year in the semi-finals. First to admit it, this year I'm hoping for no such chokes. Got to win the treble. This team is definitely good enough. I think really this season there's got to be like one of these three things to happen. So I want one of these 3 things to happen in this, our second season with Barcelona. Last year, as we know, we were close to having an undefeated season. We only lost 2 times in the campaign all season long. That was in the first game of the season against Real Valladolid, and then away against Atletico Madrid. This season, I want to either have an undefeated season for my first time in God knows how long playing FIFA Career, and haven't done that in so many years. So either an undefeated season, a joint record or a new record of points won in La Liga. As we know, the joint record is 100 between Real Madrid and Barcelona, or to win the treble. One of those 3 things. Those are my objectives for the season. Domestic double is like the bare minimum expectation, but yeah, those are my 3 objectives for the season. One of those needs to be hit, otherwise I'm calling this season a failure, because we've got an amazing team, absolutely incredible. There's no reason why we shouldn't be able to do one of those 3 things again. Record for points in La Liga, undefeated season, or treble. One of those things. Come on, I've got to deliver that with Barcelona. So starting the season, you saw the squad there, and also some contract extensions getting given out. One to Hakim, one to Gonzalez, academy graduate. Mikel Oyarzabal got a new contract, of course, as did Ter Stegen. He might now be 35 years old, but still 93 overall. Makes him the joint highest rated goalkeeper in the game at this point, alongside Jan Oblak and Gigi Donnarumma as well. And also, of course, I was going to give contracts out to Moise Kean, absolutely last year's second highest goal scorer in the Barcelona team and in La Liga as well, only runner-up to his teammate Ansu Fati. And the final contract I gave was, of course, to club captain Frenkie de Jong. You know, he took over last season. I wasn't sure who I was going to make captain, but I think I made the right call. Gave it to Frenkie de Jong. This dude's absolutely unbelievable, man. 30 years old now in the game. How time flies, but 91 overall, and the heartbeat of this team right through the middle. So the only player that didn't get a contract extension was Zubeldia. He's now 30 years old, and yeah, I'm probably going to let him go, to be honest. We've got a job lot of centre-halves here anyway. Rodri's being trained to play centre-halves, we know, so I'm probably going to let him go in this summer transfer window. But as for transfer targets for the new season, with just shy of 300 million in the budget, well, last year the top scorers in La Liga scored just shy of 100 goals. We got the best front 3 in the world, I would say. Dembele and Fati supporting Keane. But I wanted to go for a new star forward. I wanted to bring someone else in. João Felix, Kylian Mbappe, Haaland, and now Lautaro Martinez at Manchester United. But I found this guy, and I thought, I've just got to bring him in. What have I been talking about throughout this series quite often? I've been bemoaning the lack of youth players, new gens and regens, that have had meaningful impacts in all 3 of our sides. Burnley, Arsenal, and also now Barcelona as well. And when I found this guy scouting last season, I already knew he was going to be my number 1 target of the summer. His name is Leandro Ahmed. I'm not entirely sure what player he's modelled on. If you have any ideas, let me know in the comments. But he's a centre forward by trade, with striker his secondary position. He's only 24 years old, but he's 90 overall, and he's at Crystal Palace right now. And I thought, realistically, you looked at those big names there. Haaland still at Dortmund, Mbappe still at PSG, Felix still at Atletico Madrid, and obviously Martinez now moving on to Old Trafford. I thought, realistically, if a player's 90 overall, and no disrespect to Crystal Palace whatsoever, but he's probably going to be playing in a European competition for a bigger side. So I thought it was kind of realistic to now have him make the jump to a bigger side in a European competition and try and show why he's one of the world's best players. We signed him for £170 million. I really like the transfer fee because it's the exact same as what we paid for Ansu Fati last season. We know how good he turned out being. He's got 3-star skill moves, only a 2-star weak foot, but 98 sprint speed, 96 acceleration, 99 dribbling, 94 ball control, medium-low work rates. He's 6'2" as well. So despite being 90 overall, he could still be improved. There's no doubt about that. We could train that weak foot up and try and get the attacking work rate up to high as well. Again, the finishing is the surprising stat. It's only 76. 76 finishing is all he has right now. When you look at his stats, there's no doubt about it. This guy really is definitely a centre forward, not a traditional striker, not a traditional goal scorer, a pure goal scorer. But I want to train him into that one. And he is one rating higher than Keane. He's also 3 years younger as well. But what I think is perfect for this guy, being a natural CF, is that he would be a great false nine alongside Fati and Dembele. Whilst Keane is an out-and-out goal scorer in this team, Ahmed can bring in Dembele on the right and also Fati on the left as well. We know our three-headed attack is so strong. Man, I think it's just got even better there. Had to bring him in, man. I miss having youth players that are just like world beaters in my CM saves. Again, it can be very hard to do that. Especially in this save, I found it so hard for that to happen. But I had to bring him in. Leandro is in, and I'm buzzing, man. New star of the save? Well, who knows? Anyway, following that, as you can see, I had two bids here for Tammy Abraham. Two Premier League sides wanted to take him back to England. One was Manchester City, but the other was Chelsea. And I love Tammy. Last year we had like 12 strikers here at Barcelona, but I made Tammy Abraham my backup for Moise Kean, and he didn't let me down, man. He was amazing. He's our top scorer in the Copa del Rey. He was a brilliant, brilliant backup striker for Moise Kean. But I thought it was quite interesting. You know, Chelsea put in a bid. I rejected a bid from Man City, but I thought realistically, it's probably not too unlikely to see him return home to Stamford Bridge. We negotiated a £70 million deal with Thomas Tuchel, and he returns to London to play for Chelsea. You'll see the deal go through in just a moment's time. And I think it was quite realistic too, because as we know this season, what we've seen is Romelu Lukaku return to Chelsea. He is a homegrown player with Chelsea, despite being signed from Anderlecht at such a young age. He's a homegrown player from Chelsea, and I quite like that as well. You know, Abraham returning back to Stamford Bridge, just like Lukaku did, and also again being a homegrown player helps for Chelsea's European squad registration rules as well. So I thought it was quite realistic. Abraham goes back to Chelsea, and again, because we now signed Leandro, he'd be third choice striker, an 85 overall, 29 years old. He's not finished yet, so returning to Stamford Bridge, I thought it made sense, both financially getting 70 million for him, but also realistically as well. I thought it was the right thing to do. So yeah, happy with that sale there. He's gone. And Tammy Abraham, what a great first year I had with him at Barcelona, but he's now returning to Stamford Bridge. Following that, we had a couple of bids here. One for Zubeldia, which we negotiated with Sassuolo, 31 mil, and also one for Fati as well, which of course I was going to turn down. Liverpool putting in a bid, but sorry guys, Leandro might have arrived with the same fee that we bought Fati for last season, but he's still our star of the team. Ansu last year was a man mountain, Golden Boot winner in La Liga, 31 or 32 goals. He's going nowhere. Also bid for Eric Garcia from Dortmund, which we turned down, but another bid for Zubeldia, who has now been put on a transfer list from RB Leipzig, which we rejected. And also this, how about this? Brighton putting in a £131 million deal for Dembele. Really, 131 mil? What? Who have Brighton sold to raise 131 mil for Dembele? Fair play to Graham Potter for finding the cash from somewhere, but he's not going there. He's staying here. But also, as you can see, I decided to go for a new centre-half as well. You might have had the best defensive record in La Liga last year, but I did concede quite a few sloppy goals, and I decided to go in for the best centre-half in the game right now, and this would be a deal which I probably could have got a little bit cheaper for. We spent 120 mil plus Zubeldia for Matthias de Ligt in the final year of his contract with Juventus. Probably could have got him cheaper, but to be honest here, I just wanted to get Zubeldia's contract off the books as it's quite a high wage, and quite frankly, he's not worth that as like a sixth choice centre half here. But de Ligt is the best centre half in the game. He's in the prime of his career right now, 27 years old, 92 overall. And what I really like about this signing as well, as he agrees a 5-year, 310 grand a week contract, is that I feel it is quite realistic as well, because de Ligt's probably won all there is domestically in the Serie A and in Italian football with Juventus, probably wants a new challenge. And as we know, Matthias de Ligt and the man over his left-hand shoulder there, Frenkie de Jong, were former teammates with Ajax. They're friends in real life. They're both Netherlands internationals, so they've got great chemistry. They've got the green link and ultimate team, if you will. And I thought it was quite realistic for de Jong and de Ligt to be playing together, just like they did at Ajax, reunited here at Barcelona. And again, de Ligt comes in for a new challenger, and at 92 overall, best centre-half in the game at this point right now. He's an absolute monster. 82 pace, 4-star weak foot, great on playing out from the back, and 90 defending with 91 physical as well. Eric Garcia hasn't developed that well, so he'll drop to the bench, and now our 3 centre-halves, de Ligt, Tapsoba, and Rodri, who's been phased to play centre-half as well. What a fantastic back three that is. All our bases are covered in that back three there, as we reject this bid from Watford for Mark Ter Stegen. So buzzing with that signing there. De Ligt comes in again. I probably could have got him cheaper, 120 mil plus Zubeldia, but after Zubeldia turned down 2 chances to leave to Sassuolo and RB Leipzig, the main reason why is because his contract is just so high. And I've talked about it before. This is the problem we had last year when we were trying to sell our players like Moraes, and we had loads of strikers that we were trying to sell at the time. The reason why we found it so difficult is because, quite frankly, their contracts are too high, so clubs can afford the transfer fees. Leipzig and Sassuolo did, but the wage demands are too high for the player to move on. It's quite a common problem in FIFA, and as we know, contracts ordinarily automatically get renewed. Not all the time nowadays, thankfully, but even so. So I think that was the best thing to do, really. Give Zubeldia to Juve and bring in de Ligt, get his salary off the books, but also bring in a world-class centre-back to replace him. So yeah, there we go. What a transfer window already. Absolutely amazing. We've only brought in 2 signings, but what signings we've got? Leandro at 24 years old, the young youth forward coming in. Absolutely buzzing to use him, as I am retraining him to play as a striker, and also of course bringing in de Ligt as well. Just as excited to use Matthias de Ligt too as part of our back three as well. And so heading into the new season, as we know, this year being asked to win the treble, just like last season. Last year coming up short in the Champions League semi-final. Well, I talked about it at the very start of the episode. For me, one of our 3 objectives needs to be hit. I don't mind what it is, but this season one of the 3 has to be hit. Undefeated season, new points record in La Liga, or a treble. I've got to do one of those 3 things at Barcelona. So last season, after starting off with a loss away in our first ever game as Barcelona manager against Real Valladolid, we're away against Valencia at the Mestalla for the first game of the season, who last year had a really poor season, only avoided a drop by a couple of points. Taking them on here, I wanted to start off with a win. We had the early chances as well, a couple of fantastic saves to keep it at 0-0, first denying Fati and then Frenkie de Jong as well. But right from the first whistle, I was in attack mode on the opening day, wanting to retain the title and make a statement on match day 1 in the season, and 15 minutes into the game, goodness gracious me, this is why we did not entertain that Liverpool bid. This is why the guy's going nowhere. Ansu Fati scored our first goal of the season, just like he did last year. £170 million to bring him in from Man City last year, but I said it. It's a bargain. It's a bargain to bring him in for 170 million. He gets off and underway. He wants to retain that golden boot, and that's the start we were looking for. Unfortunately, we'd lose our lead right before the break, though. Really unfortunate goal as well. Rodri's pass deflecting off Mateo Kovacic, and the Croatian made it 1-1. The former Chelsea and Real Madrid man, he'd be pleased to get a goal against us, made it 1-1 and put Valencia back on level terms. But right before the break, we restored our lead. Marc Cucurella, who got 5 last year, gets 1 already on the match on the first game of the season. And did you see that ball from Frenkie de Jong? When you talk about inch perfect, that is inch perfect. Perfectly weighted for the path of Cucurella to run onto, but also just about missed the Valencia player sliding in. I think it was Soyuncu, the Turkish centre-half there. Just a brilliant ball from de Jong, and Cucurella ran onto it to slot in our second. So lead restored, and to be honest, whilst Valencia did get themselves a leveller through Kovacic, we were never really in any danger of dropping points in this game. Had it not been for some fabulous goalkeeping, we'd have been leading by like 3 or 4 goals, to be honest. Valencia only got 1 shot in the game, they scored from it. Other than that, it was all Barcelona. Some brilliant saves kept the scoreline respectable, kept Valencia in it. With 9 minutes to go, we would finally find our deserved 2-goal cushion. Mikel Oyarzabal coming off the bench and a former Sociedad winger makes it 3-1, gives us the 3 points. And unlike last year, we don't start off on the opening day with a loss, we start off with a win. And I'll say it once again, one of 3 things needs to happen this season. Undefeated season, new points record, or a treble. Well, what a great way to start. 3-1 on the opening day at the start. So following the game, how about this? Francisco Trincal, thanks for seeing me, boss. Look, I'm sorry to have to be telling you this, but I don't see my future here. I'm just not happy being at the club anymore. Well, the release clause by Juventus was met. I told him to think about the decision. And then he came to me like a day later and said, we were going to talk about our contract situation, weren't we? I've heard nothing from you. I'm not happy about it. I was like, bro, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? You've literally just said to me you don't have a future here, and now you want a new deal? So the writing was basically on the wall. Francisco wanted to leave, and I was totally fine not offering a new contract and just letting the guy go. He said, I'm sorry how things played out. I hope there are no hard feelings. And also said, I want to reassure you I'll do all for the team until the transfer goes through. But the transfer literally went through on the same day. Little bit of a bug from EA there. I think they need to speed that up for future versions of FIFA. But either way, there it is. Francisco Trincal leaves. His release clause matched by Juventus. And I was okay letting him go. 114.7 mil is the fee he'll get. He's 27 years old in the prime of his career, but stuck on our bench, isn't going to get a game in this team. And I was totally fine letting him go to the Serie A, because that now gave us a budget of over £200 million. And the reason why I wasn't bothered, guys, the reason why I didn't negotiate a new contract is because I already had the replacement lined up. I was literally playing 4D chess here. I knew exactly what I was doing. Why didn't I negotiate a contract with Trincal, even though he's in the prime of his career, and we could have kept him? Because I knew we could get the replacement for around the same fee, who's the same age, but better. Ferran Torres at Manchester City, I felt we could probably get him for just over market valuation. In the end, I'll be honest here, I did spend a little bit over the valuation for Torres. So in the end, I didn't quite negotiate the deal I wanted to. There was me thinking, oh, I'll get this guy for like 110 mil. That's less than we sold Trincao for. In the end, it was 130 mil. So not too much more, to be fair, than what we got for Francisco Trincao. But even so, Torres is 2 ratings higher than Trincao. He's the same age as well, and part of the Spanish core we've been assembling with Barcelona as well. And what I like as well is we've got so many left footers in this team, so many left footers as inside forwards. You know, Dembele, Oyarzabal, and Trincao is one as well, but not a right footer on the bench. But now we've got one. Ferran Torres arrives for £130 million. He makes his return to La Liga, and he's got some incredible stats as well. Right wing, left wing, or striker, 4-star, absolutely rapid, amazing dribbler with great ball control as well, and he can play up top as well with the high medium work rates. Ferran Torres is in to replace Francisco Trincao, and that's why, again, I wasn't too fussed about letting the Portuguese forward go to Juventus. Torres is in, and again, for 130 million, it's only a little bit more than we got for Trincao. And I'm totally fine with that deal. He'll join our Oyarzabal on our bench alongside Moise Kean as well. And when your front three on the bench will be a starting front three for practically every other team in world football, that shows you the quality of depth we've been assembling here at Barcelona for our second season. We've brought in De Ligt, we've brought in Leandro, and now Ferran comes in as well. Buzzing with the business so far. We spent big, but I'll tell you, man, we are building something special at the Nou Camp. So for our second game of this season, our first home game at Nou Camp this year, taking on Sevilla for the second game of La Liga. I didn't give Leandro a start or even bring him off the bench in the game against Valencia on match day 1. I thought I'd give him his full home debut in this one. Sorry, we're taking on Mallorca, not Sevilla. Sorry, taking on Mallorca, a newly promoted side. A chance to ease the young 24-year-old in, and obviously I hadn't used him before as he's a new gen / regen. I wanted a relatively easier game, if you will, to start him off with. And 15 minutes in, after we missed our first chance, he was sent through one-on-one, and whilst he might not be a striker officially, we are going to retrain him to play there, and it took just 16 minutes into show he's got the potential to be our starting striker in this team. Runs through one-on-one after a great little ball played through to him and a clinical finish into the far corner as well. Got to remember he's a left-footed player as well. He's only got the 2-star weak foot, so I need to make sure I remember that. He makes it 1-0, gives us the early lead. Leandro off the mark on his debut. So 1-0 Barcelona. Ansu Fati almost got his second goal of the campaign, 56 minutes in. That shot from range hitting the crossbar as it was still 1-0. But just like on match day 1 away at the Mestalla, in complete control really from start to finish. And 69 minutes in, a chance to make it 2, which we would do. Frenkie de Jong's second assist already this season, offloads to the former Crystal Palace forward, and Leandro slots home from range. Whilst I do see him as more of a false 9 as opposed to an out-and-out goal scorer in this team to link up with Dembele and Fati on the wings. It's nice to know in his very first game for the club he showed he can be an out-and-out goal scorer when required. So yeah, 2-0 Barcelona out of 18 minutes to go. Got a little bit cheeky here. Ansu Fati running through one-on-one. Little reverse step over and then dink over the goalkeeper. Those sort of finishes are so cool in FIFA. Just those little chips, you know, into the bottom corner. For his second goal of the campaign already as he looks to retain his golden boot. 3-0 Barca. Perfect start. Leandro with a brace. Fati with one as well. And a win on our first game of Nou Camp this season. So following the win and a back-to-back win to start the season off, we simulated through the calendar and as you can see now had a draw for the Champions League group stage. Last year reaching the semis, getting knocked out by Hertha Berlin as they finished runners-up to the eventual winners Arsenal. This year in the group we've got Leverkusen, Ajax and Celtic in Group C this year. A couple of really tasty groups in there. But yeah, Group C, we've got Bayer Leverkusen, the German side, Ajax, the Dutch side, and Celtic, the Scottish side as well in Group C. And I'd definitely say we're probably favourites to top that. I don't think it's an easy group, no doubt about it. Leverkusen, Ajax and Celtic could all cause some problems. You remember that famous win Celtic had all those years ago against Barcelona? Was it Tony Watt? I think it was Tony Watt, footballer turned YouTuber / streamer, that ended up scoring the winning goal in that game. But yeah, Celtic, Leverkusen and Ajax in the Champions League group. And whilst again, I don't think it's an easy group, I think we are favourites forward out there. So yeah, Group C this year with a German side, a Dutch side and a Scottish side as well. And for our third and final game of today's episode here, the final one of August, taking on Osasuna away from home. Aim to maintain our 100% start here and pick up our second away day victory of the campaign already. 7 minutes in, once again, looking to start games off on the front foot and be as attack-minded as possible. Great save, saw the game remain at 0-0, but I knew it wouldn't remain 0-0 for long. 90 minutes in, Bilbao Arteta, the youth player, did so well last year, rolls it through to Ansu Fati, and Fati, third goal in as many games. Can you tell this guy's motivated to be back-to-back Golden Boot winner? Absolutely no doubt about it. Opens the scoring third goal of the season already for our number 17. And 27 minutes in, a chance to make it 2. Once again, Bilbao Arteta winning the ball back, but in the end it was Fati with another and a third assist already for Frenkie de Jong going for the assist title. But yeah, you might notice at the start of the episode, I didn't actually talk about this, but you saw some of our youth players have potential downgrades, including Bilbao Arteta, who previously was an exciting prospect and now only shows great potential. I don't understand that, man. I mean, last year, he didn't have that much game time. In 15 games, he had 8 assists and a goal as well. Why is his potential being downgraded? I don't understand it. But hey, it's not affecting his performances. He set up the first, started to build up for the second, and then for our third goal, 38 minutes in, the captain gets a goal, which he totally deserved after an amazing start to the season. His first of the campaign makes it 3-0, but it all started after a brilliant save from Ter Stegen at the other end, coming on the counter, and Frenkie wrapping the move off. 3-0 Barcelona. Excellent start in this first half. Unfortunately, we would lose our clean sheet right before the break, and I have no one else to blame for this but me. Didn't try and sweep this under the rug. No, this was stupid. Trying to play out from the back from Eric Garcia and just gifted Osasuna a goal. But thankfully, whilst we gave them a goal back, we didn't give them a chance to get back in the game. 55 minutes in, a chance to make it 4, which we would do. Which we wouldn't do. Sorry, I forgot this. It was terrible. I thought it was a simple goal. I forgot about this. Bilbao Arteta storming down left, rolls into Frenkie, and somehow our captain miskicks the ball as it remains at 3-1. But I guess that was kind of the proof in the pudding there that Frenkie, whilst he can be a goal scorer, scored in the first half. He's more of a goal provider. 4th assist already. Rolls it through to Ansu Fati, who bags the first hat-trick of the season. Our number 17 already has 5 goals to begin the campaign off. As we extend the lead back to 3, it's 4-1 and there were 5 minutes to go. Great ball through by Dembele. Keane takes under control and slots it in for our 5th. 5-1 victory over Osasuna in match day 3. And already what a start for Barcelona. 11 goals on the ball. We were the top scorers last year. We want to be that once again. Fati's off to a red-hot start once again. 5 goals in 3 games and already a hat-trick to his name, scoring in every single La Liga fixture so far. And for Barcelona, 9 points from a possible 9. I'll say it once again. New points record undefeated season or a treble. I tell you, one of those three things has to happen this season, otherwise I'm calling the campaign a failure. So into the transfer deadline day, as you can see, we didn't really need to do anything. We had £81 million in the budget, but there wasn't really anything to do. We had a bid for Tapsoba, the Burkina Faso centre-half, but of course we were going to turn it down. The Red Devils put in a bid, but he's going nowhere. We didn't really have anything to do on deadline day. Our team is, as we know, absolutely stacked and amazing, but I did decide to bring in a new backup goalkeeper for Ter Stegen. As you know, the 35-year-old is going to start decreasing pretty quickly. He is still 93 overall, but we've got Jesus De Gea's region on the bench. He's 75 overall, but I know we can do better than that. This guy might be 10 years older, but he is 10 ratings higher as well. Unai Simon, the former Athletic Bilbao goalkeeper, now playing for Hertha Berlin, the side that knocked out in the Champions League semis last year, and we brought him in for, I think it was £45 million a fee, 110 grand a week, and he comes in to become our new backup goalkeeper for Ter Stegen. Again, one of those signs where like we didn't really need him, if you know what I mean. Like Iñaki Peña is 78 overall, Jesus again is 76 overall, so sorry, he's 9 ratings lower, but even so, we didn't really need him. But because we had the cash and we didn't really have any other areas to strengthen, I just looked at my team and looked at my bench and thought, well, where could we improve? And I guess really the only area is that backup goalkeeper role. Someone to come in to play our cup, possibly midweek, and also European games as well. And whilst again Jesus is a really great young prospect, Simon is currently better right now, and we're sort of in win now mode, if you know what I mean. So Simon comes in, didn't need to sign him, but just makes our bench look even stronger than it already was. The final thing we did was reject a couple of bids. One for Mikel Oyarzabal from Borussia Dortmund, and another bid from Brighton. Where have Brighton got all this money from? 118 million for Tapsoba, but once again we said to Mr. Potter, appreciate the offer, but he's going nowhere. And in the end, what a window for Barcelona. £467.5 million spent on just 4 players coming in. But to be fair, when you think about the money we raised for selling just 2 players in Francisco Trincao and also Tammy Abraham as well, we got just shy of 200 million on just the 2 players that left. But the top deals in the window there, obviously Jude Bellingham going to Arsenal. How cool was that, man? Our former 2 teams doing some business together as Bellingham moves on from Turf Moor to the Emirates Stadium. But Leandro and Torres, the top 2 deals of the window, coming to us from Premier League sides. And in the end, that was it for transfer deadline day. And what a window. Just shy of £500 million getting spent, but again just under 200 million getting raised for just 2 sales. But our team has gotten even better than it was last season. Leandro's come in. I'm so excited for a youth player to have a meaningful impact in this team. De Ligt's come in to really improve our back three as well. We've got Unai and Ferran Torres on our bench. This is a stacked Barcelona team, and for our second season at the Nou Camp, it's going to be revenge season, man. Domestic double being retained is the bare minimum, but I'll say it again. New points record, undefeated season, or a treble. One of those 3 things, it's got to happen this year. But that was this episode of the Realistic Career Mode, guys. So big thank you for watching the special episode number 100. I really hope you have enjoyed it. If you did, then please do drop a like. Much love to you all. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you in the next episode of the Realistic Career Mode. Not quite as long, but I hope you enjoy it regardless. Very soon.